recognize the valedictorian and salutatorian for the class of 2019. In order to receive this honor, both students must have earned the most A's in advanced placement courses, including post-secondary offerings that exceed Conifer High School's AP offerings. I would like to have our salutatorian, Will Toppin, join me at the podium. Will is the son of Scott and Stephanie Toppin. Will received an A in 25 semesters of advanced placement coursework and has earned a cumulative grade point average of 4.716. Not bad. Next year, Will plans to attend Lewis and Clark College in Portland, Oregon. While attending Conifer, Will demonstrated his service to our school as co-president of the Keep Conifer Green Club. As an avid runner, Will was competitive runner with the Conifer cross-country team and track team. Always willing to help others, Will serves as a peer counselor. Will really stands out for his leadership with the anti-vaping campaign. Who can forget the poster, "Don't be a sheep"? And Will's been honored with the following academic successes and community service. 3-time varsity and 3-time state cross-country runner. Completed over 200 hours of community service to be recognized with the 200 Club Medallion. The highest academic honors for all 4 years of high school. The National Advanced Placement Scholar Award, which is granted to students who receive an average score of at least 4 on all AP exams and a score of 4 or higher on 8 or more of these exams. By the way, folks, there's 5 students here today that are receiving that honor. The Presidential Academic Award for the top 10 students in the class of 2019. The Distinguished Scholar Award for having a grade point average higher than 4.0. Received the Betcher Scholar Finalist Recognition, the National Merit Semifinalist Recognition, and the Spirit of Conifer Award. Will has received the following scholarships. The Barbara Hershey Neely Scholarship. Please join me in congratulating Will Toppin as this year's salutatorian.
Hello, Conifer! Oh, thank goodness you'll never have to hear that again. Class of 2019, wow. Welcome and congratulations. I think I'd be remiss not to take a little time to look back on our experiences here at Conifer. I couldn't really think of a creative way to do that, but some of the top things I'll remember from Conifer are Mr. Volsky's Abraham Lincoln collection. Owen, you've got a problem. Mr. Stotts and Watson occasionally breaking away from the GameCube or Switch for long enough to teach class. I'll definitely remember the science teacher's strange propensity for fire. Not to name any names, Mr. Bonnell. Senor Barnett loves putt-putt golf just as much as Spanish, which is a lot, so that's a good thing. And spending a lot of quality time with Phil in lunch detention. Oh, is that one just me? In all seriousness, though, I think it's important to take a moment to appreciate the amazing people that have surrounded us here at Conifer for the past 4 years. CHS is the amazing place that it is because of the faculty and staff who show up here every day, doing what often seems like thankless, underpaid work to get us where we are here and now. Teachers, staff, and faculty of CHS, thank you. And of course, a big thank you to our parents and families because, we wouldn't be here without you guys. I'd like to say I did try to write you a good speech. I did, but it's really not that good. Couldn't really come up with anything to talk about. So I tried to Google it, right? And my gosh, I found some incredible examples of what have to be the worst graduation speeches in history. They're just truly terrible. They told me to use quotes like this one. "We do not need magic to change the world. We carry all the power we need inside ourselves already. We have the power to imagine better." J.K. Rowling. Gross, right? It's so cliche. Then there's this one from Stephen King. "Monsters are real, and ghosts are real too. They exist inside us, and sometimes they win." What? What monster? What are you even talking about? Here's another one, George R.R. Martin. A man who fears losing has already lost. What does that even mean? I read it slowly and I still don't get it. Do you even know what you're talking about, George R.R. Martin? So I'm like, dang it. Google doesn't have the answer. The most famous authors in the world don't have the answer, and I don't have the answer. So there's only one thing for me to do. Write a terrible, cliched speech, but hide it in a metaphor about roller coasters. So that's what I did. In advance, I'm sorry. So I've been thinking a lot lately about the meaning of life, as any angsty teen does. And it seems like everyone idealizes this life of doing the things you love with the people you love, just generally having this fantastic time, namaste. But that dream doesn't really seem to be the reality. I mean, think about it. How much of your life do you actually get to spend just doing whatever you want? And how do you reconcile the meaning of life being to do the things you love with the people you love, if in reality you actually get to spend so little of your life in control of what you're doing? So here comes the metaphor, and I should warn you that there are 3 parts. Life isn't some magical, happy story where everything is uphill. It's more like a roller coaster. It's throwing you around and spinning you, and you're hanging on for dear life, even though your seatbelt will hopefully hold, and you're screaming and then making a funny face at the end for the camera. And you could say that the purpose of the roller coaster is to live the uphill parts, when the roller coaster is predictable, when you're in control, generally doing what you want to be doing. But think about how boring that would be. A roller coaster that was just uphill would be like forever and ever. It would suck. It would just be a terrible roller coaster. It would be like Twister 2 at Elitch's. So the first part of the metaphor is how to deal with the downhills. Neither life nor the roller coaster will be all uphill, and in my book, that's okay. Life is the ups and the downs. All we can do is enjoy the ride. And I think enjoying the downhills is something that people say a lot, but I don't think it means, oh look, my life is spiraling out of control. What a pretty view. Rather, you aren't enjoying the act of falling in and of itself. Instead, on the roller coaster, the sense of falling makes you appreciate what you have. In that moment of thrill, you feel that you are alive. You look at the amazing mountain skyline and you think, hey, that's pretty, even though you rarely take the time to appreciate it at this point in your life. And you look at the people next to you and know that if you are terrified, at least you are sharing this experience with them. In that moment, ripped from gravity, security, and comfort, you are able to look at yourself in the most honest way. In life's struggles, you find out what you are made of, and you learn lessons about yourself and life that you would never have found on some uphill roller coaster. I'm certainly not the most qualified person to speak to this, but in my brief 18 years of experience, it seems that the downhill shows you who you are. The second takeaway is that you don't have control of where the roller coaster takes you. For the most part, you're locked in. Of course, life isn't actually a roller coaster. There are those transitional times when you get to choose what path to take next. I think graduating high school is one of those choices. And I think a lot of us are stressed that we don't have our whole life laid out in front of us yet. At least I know I am. But I don't think the pressure is on us to pick the right career and be doing what we'll love and determine our future happiness for the rest of our whole life. Just look around you. These people who flew or drove out to see you, odds are none of them are jetting off to some new location or reshaping the entire world every single day. Odds are very few of them ended up where their high school selves thought they would be. They aren't flying around all the time, but here they are supporting you. Look at your classmates. It's been a heck of a journey, and we've shared it with these people sitting all around you. And that's what it's about. If anything, you have already made more of a difference to someone than you could ever know. You mean more to them than you could know. So the pressure's off. Go, shoot for your dreams. When you feel like you're locked in, let the roller coaster take you where it will. Just remember that the people who give meaning to your life are already around you. ultimately, you can just make the best of where you end up. The third facet of the metaphor is that it's just a metaphor. And you know what? Life is not a metaphor. I have no illusions that anything I tell you today will change your life, and it shouldn't. Life isn't about following sage advice or weird metaphors. It's just about going and... Oh, the back of my speech is gone. Oh, here it is. Okay, I found it. Life isn't about following sage advice and weird metaphors. Just go live it in a way that makes you happy. Sometimes we'll want to puke. Sometimes we'll want to scream with joy. But I hope that you will all be happy. Thank you.